Hello. All right, let me give this thing a second. My tone and color balance is off, or at least it looks that way on my end for some reason. So, anyway, it's more important that you hear the really than rather kind of see, so I'm just going to move on. My name is Storm Chandler. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I'm 46. I'm single. Uh, um, I have experience before in forensic pathology and animal behavior. And so, if you're new, welcome. And if you're recurring, then welcome back. Um, so those that are new and curious, I chat a lot about what's going on in my own realm of the world, my private life, so to speak, and I share it because I'm happy to share it, and because we're all kind of in still pandemic mode, and so it's a great way to vent and to share and to kind of convey what's going on from my point of view, as well as in some sort of effort to maybe help or empathize with other people that are going through what what I'm going through, what I've been through. So this time, with the holidays and stuff coming up, where we're all going to be, preparing to go into anti narcissism mode, whether that be with the spouse that we're with, or the person that we married, or a relative, or a neighbor, whoever that might be, because not all of us are in situations to be able to necessarily dodge or avoid it. So I wanted to speak for a few minutes on that kind of general thing that always kind of comes up with narcissism in general, as kind of a general loose whole, um, and how that typically goes, because narcissism in of itself is in part an attention kind of seeking disorder in a loose sense. Um, the thing of it is that they are they've become they've chosen to become, um, wanting it to be centered all around them and their attention seeking. And on the other hand of that, they're also very awkward with it, because then once they get it, they don't know what to do with it and how to respond properly back. And so it usually becomes a shit show. And so with the holidays coming up, a lot of us are probably going to see this in some form or another, unfortunately. And so, if you're able to dodge that element and avoid it altogether, that's great. But for a lot of us, we can't, and that's either because we either don't have a choice, or because rightly so, you're committed to who you've chosen to be committed to. And I'm not here to debate whether you are or you aren't. That's your choice. We're all grown, and I get it. Not all of us have that loose choice that sounds so easy. So I understand. A lot of folks end up co-parenting with somebody who's narcissistic, and it's not as simple as just not being able to interact. You're forced to on some level, either because of children or whatever. But for those of us that do have an ounce of say in these things, and say in how this plays out, there are some basic, simple things that you can do to kind of maintain some positive, healthy control during holiday time, whether they're staying overnight or just there for the evening, or during Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or whatever. Um, Number one, try to do it on your ground if you can. Your house, your rules kind of premise, right? Because then if you're not on their territory, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with it. Um, and number two, if you do end up having to engage on their territory, just remember you always have the freedom to go. You always have the freedom to leave. Whoop, I got to get home. It's getting late. Time to go. And you don't have to necessarily be obvious about it, but that way you can, hey, I put in my hour. I'm done. It's time to go. So that it's not weird or confrontational or a thing. Excuse me. But that would be my first piece. If you have to, or you choose to, do it on your ground. Do it on your terms. Do it at your place. And number two, be aware, especially with the holidays. Usually that thing comes up where you forgot something, or you need something, or you're asking them, to do something, and you thinking, in your head, it's a simple, would you mind running to the store to grab me some allspice? Would you mind running to the store and grabbing me some cinnamon? To us, it sounds like a mundane, easy, fairly easy, straightforward task. But with a lot of them, you'll notice this, like, kind of a reaction where it's like, well, you know, why should I have to do it? And how did I get picked to do it? And it becomes this weird thing. The other thing that you might see is, well, dramatics. You might see dramatics. You might like see some false anxiety and some false theater in play. And really, and the truth is they don't want to do it. Um, and so you send them off to go grab one or two simple things, and bear in mind, I get it. People are out, traffic is bad, so on and so on. Nobody really wants to do that, so I get it. But it's not just that. Is that these people also go out of their way on some level to make it confrontational, to make it a dramatic situation, to make it a thing. And so, one of two things happens. They either don't get what you asked for, or they deliberately get something else, or were rushing through it because they didn't give a damn, because they didn't want it to do it to begin with. And then when they return, it's, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I asked for. Maybe you could exchange it. Maybe you could exchange it later. Something, whatever, however you want to negotiate that. Which should normally be a fairly calm, collected thing. What you're likely to get is attitude. And not just because of the traffic, and not just because of the time, and not just because of the weather and whatever, right? It becomes this shady, guilt ridden complex that comes out in, well, I guess I fucked it up, and I guess I can't do anything right, and I guess, well, you shouldn't have asked, and so on and so on, and it just becomes this weird, uncomfortable, like, okay, you know, you didn't need to have a meltdown over it. It was just cinnamon. I didn't want you to, open up the United Nations or anything. Would you mind running to the store to grab whatever? But see, that's part of their issues. They're not able to really kind of self-regulate, and so, and that vie for attention, and that vie for false sympathy, and that vie for false sympathy, there's usually a lot of theatrics and guilt trips and whatever to kind of get the point across that they weren't happy with you. They weren't happy with you asking them to do whatever. So in that point, what I'm saying is that be aware. You need to keep their participation controlled. They either need to have something to do that you're comfortable with them doing, or you need to say, you know what, it's cool, I got it, go watch TV, everything's fine, and handle it yourself. Because to involve them in those little details of setting up, or running to grab something, or would you mind, it's just going to backfire. You're just setting up a situation to create drama. And then it's going to be an hour of, when they get back, all the attention is on them, and then it becomes awkward and whatever, and then it ruins your mood, and then you're just, you're done. You don't want a scene. Nobody wants to deal with the police on the holidays, kind of a thing. So that's the only thing you can do, is kind of limit their engagement, or just not engage with them at all. On a simple, basic, trivial level, so that you're not placed in those situations. Um, So, those are just a couple of things that I can throw out. You just have to be aware of. So the goal is to either engage and keep them busy, and moving. Give them things that you're comfortable with them doing, so that they're not in a situation to agitate the shit out of you. Or you have to be comfortable with limited or controlled engagement, and it's cool. I've got it. Go watch TV. Go for a walk. Go do something while we're doing this, and when it's done, I'll call you, kind of a thing. Because to put them in that situation, especially if you know that you're dealing with somebody who's kind of a difficult personality, it's setting it up for a dynamic where there's drama at the table, or it's drama for the holiday because they're not able to handle themselves. The center of attention is not on them, it's on the holiday, it's on Granny Maggie, whoever, right? The new baby that was just born, whatever. And so, it becomes uncomfortable and awkward and weird and full of drama. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Enjoy your holidays and stuff. You might want to watch the alcohol, because they can get a little nasty sometimes with that. But just beware. So either engage on your terms, lay out your rules, lay out your ground rules, be very clear from the get go what your expectations are. Yeah, you can show up and help cook and whatever if you want, or you have to lay it out for them. Yeah, come on over. It's cool. It's fine. But, I don't expect you to do anything. I don't expect you to really participate. It's cool. You can sit on the couch and play with the dog and whatever while we all prep and get things ready. That way, you can have a cool, comfortable as can be holiday without chaos and drama and arguing and fighting and wanting to shank somebody over cinnamon. Uh, so, I just wanted to throw that out. Don't let them take control and ruin your holidays because they can't regulate. So that's all I kind of wanted to say. Because there's a lot of it out there. There's a lot out of it now. They typically, as a general group, tend to resent special occasions and holidays. And if you're not careful and you let it fall into their hands, they will find a way to sabotage it, either subconsciously or consciously. They will find a way to snatch it from the palm of your hand and make it about them. And so you have to watch carefully and kind of guide and control it, or just not engage on your terms. So that's all I kind of wanted to say, because I feel for the people that have to engage with these difficult personalities, and especially on the holidays. I know some of us aren't able to be with our families because of the pandemic like we'd like. And so, in a roundabout kind of sort of way, we're around who we're around right now. And it can be testing, it can be trying. So, don't let these people do that to you. So anyway, that's all I've got to say, and I'll leave that there. But um, you know, think good thoughts and do good deeds and do the best you can. Don't be afraid to go for a walk if you need to get out of the house and breathe for a minute. Don't be afraid to lock yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes and listen to Mozart or something. Don't be afraid to take those little mini breaks in between all this holiday stuff if you need to decompress. Maybe have a cell phone friend or that you can get away from the house and chit chat with for a minute to vent in between interactions with this person or whatever. So think it through, have a plan, have a good time, enjoy yourselves. But I will also say, and kind of closing this out, if you run into that dynamic where your attempt at communication is just not reaching them, your boundaries are not being respected, if their inability to listen to you or allow you to guide them through all of this is just not working, I will say, don't be afraid to either leave if you have the choice to leave and you're just done. Again, whoop, gotta go. Time to feed my dog, right? And that's kind of a graceful exit. Or, don't be afraid to say, the rest of us were here and having a good time and fine. If you're not comfortable here, if you're not happy here, if you're not happy with how this has been kind of set up, you are welcome to leave. And, don't be afraid to pull them aside and say, I think it's time for you to go. You know, uh, the holiday times are important. It's about friends and family and people who love and respect you. And so, just keep that in mind. So, y'all have a good night and take care and be careful. Peace.